Are you guys looking for the best free-to-play games to play with your friends but don't know where to start? So don't worry, in this video I'm gonna talk about not only 10, not 20, total of 25 awesome completely free-to-play co-op party style games that you can play with your friends in 2026. From chaotic physics game and social deduction to survival adventure and intense shooters, there is something here for every type of squad. And the best part is every single game on this list is completely free to play and you can simply go ahead and download most of them on Steam. And also remember, few games only available on the Epic Game Store. So no more wasting time, grab your friends, let's jump right into it. Alright, starting at number 25, we got Unfortunate Spaceman. It's a really fun sci-fi social deduction game where a group of players are trying to complete objectives in a space station, while one player is secretly a shape-shifting alien monster. The goal is to survive, finish tasks, and figure out who is the monster is before it's too late. It's a bit underrated on Steam, but it's incredibly fun to play. The game does support online multiplayer matches up to 16 players, and even has a separate co-op survival mode where everyone fight against AI monsters. Pretty cool game to jump in with your friends, and it is totally free to download on Steam. Moving on, next up we got a pretty newly released title on Steam, and it is called Delivery and Beyond. Alright, this one is a chaotic physics-based co-op game where you and your friends try to work together to deliver packages through different environments. It sounds pretty simple, but thanks to this goofy physics and obstacles, things can go horribly wrong all the time. And honestly, that's what makes this game so hilarious to play with your friends. The gameplay loop is pretty simple, you gotta lift boxes, drive vehicles, and try to coordinate as a team while everything falls apart. Overall, a fun little game to jump in, and it does support online co-op and also multiplayer option if you don't have any friends. Imposter Online is another awesome free social deduction game available on Steam. This one is also very similar, where you got to complete tasks while trying to find out the hidden imposter in the group. Few players are secretly sabotaging everything and eliminating others without getting caught, and others have to find who they are. The game is played online with multiple players in a lobby, and the real fun comes when the discussions and accusation between rounds. Something similar to Among Us, but of course in 3D. It's another super underrated game on Steam. If you got a bunch of friends, jump in and try it out. Moving on, next up we got Microworks, another fast-paced party-style game packed with lots of quick mini-games that only last for like few minutes. Every round throws a new challenge at you, so you have to react quickly before the next one starts. You can jump into multiplayer lobbies, or you can jump in with a bunch of your friends in a single lobby, which makes it so much fun to play. And since the game is very short and unpredictable, everyone stays involved the whole time. It's simple, chaotic, no doubt one of the coolest and underrated party games to jump in right now. Next up at number 21, we got a couple of games that are very similar to each other, and that is One Armed Cook and One Armed Robber. These games are all about chaotic physics and teamwork. In One Armed Cook, you and up to 4 players can run a restaurant together, trying to cook and serve foods while controlling characters that have only one arm, which makes everything way harder and way more hilarious. One Armed Robber, on the other hand, use the same style but focus on co-op bank heist, where you and your friends try to pull off robberies together. Both games are simple and incredibly fun, but make sure to jump in with another friend to get the best out of these couple of games. Welcome to Dusttown is another awesome free co-op horror exploration style of a game where you and your friends play as scientists to investigate a creepy area filled with these massive cornfields. The goal is simple: explore this maze-like field, collect evidence, and survive whatever lurking out there. The game supports online co-op for up to 4 players and even has local voice chat, which makes the experience feel more immersive. Playing with friends is definitely the way to go with this one, and it is totally free, available to download right now on Steam. Alright, moving on, next up we got a bit of an older classic game at this point, and that is Alien Swamp Reactive Drop. It's another free co-op top-down shooter where you and your team of marines fight through this mission filled with hordes of alien bugs, and each character can pick from different classes with unique abilities and weapons, and you'll need to work together to survive and complete objectives. The game initially came out in 2017, so it's a bit of an older game, very easy to run on any kind of PC, and it does support online co-op up to 8 players. So if you and your friends enjoy games like Left 4 Dead but in a top-down perspective, this one can be an incredibly fun to jump in together. Nightfall: A Daring Journey is a pretty unique co-op style medieval battle royale game where you and your partner ride across the map on horseback and trying to reach the castle first. This isn't your typical co-op style party game. This one played on teams of 2 with up to 28 players in a match, and along the way you'll have to fight other knights, grab weapons, and survive the cold night. It's basically a mix of racing, combat, and survival, and of course playing with a friend makes it much more fun because you're constantly coordinating, fighting other teams and trying to be the first pair to reach the final objective. Definitely one of the most underrated games on our list today. At number 17, we got Muck, a very well-known, popular survival crafting game, especially among low-end PC gamers. So in this game, you and your friends have to survive as long as possible. So during the day, you have to gather resources, build tools, craft weapons, and set up bases. But once night comes, enemies start attacking. It got a very unique and simple art style, some fun mini-bosses and big bosses, plus a unique roguelike element. So definitely one of the coolest games to jump in with your friends, and it supports up to 8 players on online co-op. And also, as I said, you don't really have to have a super powerful PC or anything. This one works well even with Intel HD graphics. If you're looking for something a bit different from your typical co-op party style games, next up we got an awesome little arcade racing game called Disney Speedstorm. It's a fast-paced arcade racing game featuring characters from Disney and Pixar universe, and each racer, each character has their own unique abilities, which makes the race feel a bit more like a combat kart racer, similar to something like Mario Kart but totally free to play. This one supports online multiplayer up to 8 players, plus local split screen co-op up to 4 players. So if you're down for some couch co-op fun with your friends or family, this is a really cool chaotic fighting game to jump in. It's not as popular as it used to be, but still pretty relevant in 2026. DYO is a really clever co-op puzzle platformer game that is designed specifically for 2-player co-op play. In this game, you and your friend play as 2 little mini-souls trying to escape this maze-like arena by solving puzzles together. Actually, the cool part is each player can create stone-like platform to help other player reach new areas, so the communication and teamwork has to be on point. As I said, the game does support online co-op up to 2 players. I found this game a bit more challenging. It's not as simple as it seems, but it's really satisfying to complete with another friend. Thunder Tier 1 is a top-down tactical shooter where you play as an elite special force soldier completing missions like rescuing soldiers, clearing buildings, and stopping terrorist threats. The gameplay is much more slower, much more strategic and tactical compared to some of the other typical shooters, so teamwork and communication with your teammates, it's really important. It supports online co-op up to 4 players, letting you and your friends plan strategies, tackle missions together. So if you have a group of friends who enjoy tactical gameplay, tactical shooters like this one is one of the underrated options on the free-to-play market. Moving on to a pretty well-known co-op puzzle style game series, and that is We Were Here. There are a bunch of games already available from this series. Some are completely free, some are given free at certain times, but I'm here talking about the original game, the first one, which is completely free on Steam. It's a very challenging 2-player co-op puzzle adventure game where you and your friends trap inside this mysterious castle and both of you have to work together to escape. The twist is that the both players are in different areas of the castle, so you can't see each other in person, but you have to communicate using voice chat with that cool in-game walkie-talkie to describe clues, solve puzzles together, so the communication has to be on point. It is super difficult and took me several good hours to beat the game with my brother, so it's pretty satisfying and I highly recommend you guys to jump in and try it out. At number 12, we got Dead Frontier 2. It's an online zombie survival RPG set in this massive city overrun by undead. I used to play this one a lot back in the day, but these days I haven't seen a lot of people talking about it, but still relatively popular in 2026. So in this game, you gotta explore buildings, gather loot, complete missions, and try to survive while dangerous zombies and other creatures constantly roaming around. The game supports online multiplayer, so you can team up with your friends to explore areas, fight zombies, and complete quests together. It's a pretty dark, atmospheric, tense game, but if you got a bunch of friends who are experiencing this style of zombie survival games, you can make the gameplay experience a lot more fun and a lot less scary. Alright, moving forward, we got an extremely popular game that need absolutely no introduction, and that is Destiny 2. It's a huge online co-op looter shooter where you play as guardians protecting humanity across different planets. You can team up with your friends to complete story missions, explore open areas, run strikes, take on challenging activities together. It's a very popular, very long-running title, but if you're someone who never played Destiny before, it's a bit overwhelming to jump in at first, and also you need a bit of paid DLC to get the best out of this. Most co-op activities supports 3-player teams, while some of the endgame missions require like 6 players working together. It may not be the most easiest game to jump in as a free-to-play beginner, but if you got a couple of friends who are experienced in Destiny, I'm sure you're gonna have a great time playing this. Alright, moving on to top 10 game, starting with Crab Game. It's a pretty well-known, free-to-play, chaotic, multiplayer party-based game inspired from the popular TV show Squid Game. So basically in this game, you and your big group of friends completing different mini-games like red light, green light, platform challenges and other survival rounds, and try to survive as long as you can, and of course, while try to eliminate others. The game supports large online lobbies up to 35 to 40 players, and also support proximity voice chat, which makes every match feel crazy and unpredictable. It's not exactly co-op, but it's incredibly fun to play with friends because everyone is ended up yelling, pushing each other off platforms and try to survive. Simple game to run and very well optimized for low-end PCs as well. At number 9, we got Arcadegeddon. This one used to be a paid premium title a few years ago, but recently last year, this game went completely free to play. It's a very colorful co-op third-person shooter set inside a digital arcade world that have been infected by a virus. So you and your friends run through these different zones, biomes, fighting enemies, completing challenges and collecting loot while upgrading your character. It got a bit of a loot-to-shoot elements as well, and it does support online co-op up to 4 players. It's fast, very colorful and flashy. Great game to jump in with friends if you enjoy shooting, grinding, upgrades and just causing chaos. Alright, moving on, next up we got one of my personal favorite games, and that is Caliber. This one is a team-based tactical third-person shooter focused on modern military special forces from different countries, and each operator has their own role like assault, medic, support and sniper. The game features multiple modes like typical PvP modes, but most importantly it including a co-op PvE missions where 4 players can work together to complete objectives against AI soldiers. So if you and your friends enjoy tactical shooters that require coordination and bit of strategy, Caliber can be a really solid co-op experience overall. Moving on to a title that very recently come out on Steam, and that is PUBG Blind Spot. And this one takes the typical PUBG universe in a different direction with a top-down tactical shooter style gameplay. So instead of big battle royale, this one focuses on smaller, more strategic matches that you can play with up to 5 players online. And of course you need to communicate, watch angles and plan the moves carefully. Since it's built around team-based multiplayer, playing with your friends makes the matches a lot more fun, a lot more coordinated compared to playing with random teammates. The game literally came out a few weeks ago onto early access on Steam, so not a bad option to try out at the moment. SCP Secret Laboratory is a very popular multiplayer horror game that I always recommend in my videos because it's so much fun to play with friends and also very popular. The game set inside an underground SCP bunker. In each match, players divided into roles like scientists, security guards, prisoners and even dangerous SCP entities themselves, and every role has a different set of objectives to complete. The game supports large online multiplayer matches with many players, and every round becomes chaotic and mix of survival, teamwork and betrayal. Extremely fun and hilarious game to play with friends, especially if you're into the horror genre. Goose Goose Duck is a really fun social deduction party game that is perfect to play with a big group of friends. The idea is pretty similar to games like Among Us. Most players are geese trying to complete tasks, while few players are secretly ducks trying to sabotage everything and eliminate others. But what makes this game stand out is a huge variety of roles and abilities, which adds a lot more chaos and strategy to every round. The game supports large online matches with many players. There are so many maps, game modes, even proximity voice chat. No doubt one of the coolest and one of the most popular free-to-play social deduction games you can jump in right now. At number 4, we got one of the most popular survival games to come out in the last couple of years, and that is Once Human. This one is not typically considered as a co-op game, but no doubt it is an incredibly fun game to play with friends. This game set in a strange post-apocalyptic world filled with supernatural creatures, and you and your friends explore large areas, gather resources, build bases, craft weapons, and fighting against these monsters. The game supports online multiplayer in shared worlds, so you can team up with your friends to complete missions and survive. And on top of everything, the game does support cross-platform progression, and crossplay between PC and mobile makes it even more accessible in 2026. Warframe is one of the biggest free-to-play co-op action games out there, and is well known for its incredible co-op gameplay. I don't think I have to explain too much. It is a very old, very well-established title. In this game, you play as powerful space ninjas called Warframes, each with unique abilities and complete missions across different planets. The gameplay is super fast-paced with a lot of movement, shooting and melee combat, and most missions support online co-op play up to 4 players. And over the years, the game got so many updates, so many new patches, new content. It is a game that you can literally jump in and spend hundreds of hours without ever being bored. Next up, we got one of the best free game for those who are pure hardcore first-person shooter fans, and this one is Delta Force Black Hawk Down. This is the remastered version of the classic Black Hawk Down campaign, now available to download with the free-to-play version of Delta Force. And this campaign focuses a lot on realistic hardcore combat where teamwork and positioning really matter. You and your squad take part in missions involving urban combat, rescuing allies, and fight enemy forces. The game gives you the option to play as a completely solo single-player experience, but it's extremely difficult, extremely hard to complete because there is no save points, only a couple of bullets is enough to kill you, and also you got limited ammo. Because of that, you need to have another 3 players to play with you that all has different roles like medics, snipers, and assault. I tried to complete the game as a solo player. I couldn't even pass the first mission. So if you got a bunch of friends who really enjoy tactical first-person shooters, this is no doubt one of the best free DLCs you can try out right now. Alright, finally at number 1 spot we got Fall Guys and also Stumble Guys. Both games are very popular and incredibly fun to play party style obstacle course game that are perfect to play with friends. The goal is very simple. You gotta race through this crazy obstacle course, avoid traps and try to be the last player standing. Kinda like a battle royale, but it's much more casual and fun. The matches supports large online lobbies with dozens of players, so you can squad up with your friends and compete together. The reason why I mentioned both of these games because they are very similar to each other. So if you have a good enough PC, you can try out Fall Guys. It is completely free, but remember it is only available on the Epic Games Store. But if you have an older PC, older laptop that don't have a graphic card, you can easily run Stumble Guys. It even works on mobile. Both games are super fun party games to try out in 2026. Well, there you have it guys. These are my picks on 25 of the best free-to-play co-op party style games you can play with your friends in 2026. There are so many games come to my mind. Some are less popular, some are indie titles that are available on Steam. So if you got more suggestions, of course, let me know down in the comment section. And also if you discovered a new game to try out with your squad, and if this video helped you out in some way, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more free-to-play game coverage like this. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.